Right, so the Green Party had a good set of local elections. They doubled their representation across the council areas contended, but there's no getting away from the fact that Reform UK stormed it. That in part is down to the constant platforming of Reform MPs and Nigel Farage, and they are ostensibly good media performers. The Green Party's come in for a fair bit of criticism for not cutting through, but they don't get the platforming either. And when they do, they still don't necessarily resonate. The party is criticised often for being too quiet, too timid, not being pugnacious enough in the face of opposition party figures who make more noise, but say far less. But amongst the Green Party's regular media spokespeople, Deputy Leader of the party, Zack Polanski, does stand out. He is eloquent, he is pointed, he doesn't stumble, he addresses points head on, he rarely bats an eyelid in the face of any media gotcha attempts. And although, like a lot of Greens, he might not be a household name particularly, given the chance now, he could be. And now he's got that chance. Zack has, to the loud cheers, frankly, of a lot of us in the Green Party today, announced he's running to be the next Green Party leader. Green Party leadership elections held every 2 years as they are, mandated as such, and the next lot are coming this summer. For those critical of the Greens that they aren't left enough, that they aren't loud enough, Polanski is exactly the man to get behind right now, and I'll certainly be backing him.
The Labour government is failing, and the planet is burning. People are looking for somewhere to turn. Nigel Farage and his billionaire mates, they don't offer any real solutions. It's time to rise up. It's time for bold action. And that's why I'm running, to be the next leader of the Green Party. We all know we need a party that is bolder, clearer about what it is that we stand for, and crucially, what we will always stand against. A party that can cut through, not just to those who already agree, but to millions more people. A party that knows inequality is at the heart of all of our problems. Town, village, country, city, wherever you live, inequality hurts us all. A party that will confront fascism and will call a genocide exactly what it is. Now is the moment to build the next generation. New faces, new names, new voices. This is how we'll win. We can beat reform, win more councillors, and send more Green MPs to Parliament. Because we know how to win now, but it's time to aim higher. There are 39 constituencies where we came second place to an increasingly unpopular Labour government, and many more constituencies where we are growing every single day. This is only the beginning. People are crying out for the Green Party to seize this moment. A nature and climate crisis, racist riots on our streets, and inequality growing deeper every day. It is time for bold leadership. When I say bold, I mean bold. For years, I've debated some of the toughest interviewers. And when I say leadership, I mean real leadership. I've seen the difference when you can help empower communities by listening and inspiring people to work together. That's why I'll always use my platform to lift other people up on our estates, in our workplaces, in our faith spaces. We can have environmental, social, racial, and economic justice if we unite, and the Green Party will be the united force for change. Join us for bold leadership now.
Right, so that was Zack Polanski's leadership launch video, his pitch, attacking Starmer's Labour and the rancid arguments against taking climate change seriously straight out of the blocks there, slamming the populist Farage, who will quickly be found wanting now they've got a little bit of power, and frankly listening to the likes of Lincolnshire Mayor Andrea Jenkins talking about tents for migrants in a manner that evokes images of concentration camps and talk of sacking diversity officers in councils that don't even employ them, show they haven't got a Scooby about what they are doing. The Farage con having been repeated yet again, but it's easily done when you get as much press attention as he does. For as much progress as the Greens have been making, 8 years running now, they have increased their share of local councillors. They still lack a bit of punch. So for anyone having seen Polanski perform in the media, and there are plenty of examples online of him going toe-to-toe with the worst of media presenter lines of questioning, attempting to get one over on him and failing miserably, the Greens at last have a chance of being led by a guy who can give Farage a run for his money and run rings around other political leaders besides. There are few political leaders that I can think of that have his kind of calm demeanour that comes combined with knowing your stuff and getting it across concisely and cuttingly if needs be. Jeremy Corbyn is brilliant at this. Polanski is very similar, I think, in his presentation style, though perhaps that little bit more vociferous, and that is needed. Because to turn the Greens into a movement for change now, as he's saying he wants to do, they need to be bolder, and they need to be cutting through in a way they haven't been able to before. And Polanski might be very difficult to ignore. In a political landscape that is becoming ever increasingly dominated by rightward shifts, driven by Farage and the other main parties chasing to out-racist him, frankly, at this point, the announcement of Zack Polanski's candidacy for the leadership of the Green Party could not come at a better moment. As the first to declare his intention to run for the post, Polanski brings a dynamic presence and a vision aimed at transforming the Green Party into a formidable force of the left, already having become home for many of us who have left Labour either by choice or by force, finding a new home there where you can be a socialist and advocate for social justice and not be punished for it. That is certainly how I came to the party. Polanski's bid not only makes the upcoming leadership election a very exciting prospect now, but also presents an opportunity for the Greens to fill the ever-widening void being left by Labour's rightwards trajectory, along with the Conservative Party's continued rightward drift, all in the wake of nasty Nigel. The Green Party's leadership election is scheduled for this summer. Why are they having one, Damo, you might be asking? The Greens did well in these local elections, you've just said. You might be thinking, and sure they did. But they need to do better if they're going to start actually cutting through, because that still isn't really happening. The leadership contest is happening because of the party's constitutional provisions, which allow for either a single leader or two co-leaders. If a single leader is elected, two deputy leaders will be chosen. If co-leaders are elected, only one deputy leader will serve. And these elections happen every 2 years, making sure members of the party are always led by who they want to be led by. The Greens are more membership-led than any other mainstream political party. This election, however, comes after a delay decided at the 2023 Autumn Conference to avoid clashing with the general election timeline. The current co-leaders, Carla Denyer and Adrian Ramsey, have yet to announce their intentions regarding re-election. So far, it's just Zack. Frankly, I'd be more than happy if it stayed that way at this point. Zack Polanski has served as the Green Party's deputy leader since 2022 and been a London Assembly member since 2021. And despite him only joining the Greens himself in 2017, he has grown to be an increasingly prominent figure within the party. As chair of London's Environment Committee and the party's spokesperson for democracy and citizen engagement, he has championed issues ranging from environmental policy to democratic reforms, and for him the two go hand in hand. You can't just save the planet without having social justice as well, and a better deal for ordinary working class people running in tangent. Polanski's Jewish, he's openly gay, he's got a background in drama which might well contribute to his pointed and perfectly pitched style of communication and media savviness. The UK's political environment has seen traditional parties like Labour and the Conservatives move ever rightwards, leaving many progressive voters feeling unrepresented, and whereas the Greens have been there for some time as an option for them, we still haven't seen the Greens as such. Labour's strategy to attract former Conservative voters has alienated much of its core base, leading to losses to parties like the Greens and the Liberal Democrats, so I don't consider them at all progressive. The rise of Reform UK with its alleged significant membership, and I say that because it's still run more like a limited company than a political party, so what say do members actually even have? But their electoral gains are impossible to ignore. Just go to further underscore the shifting dynamics in this country. British politics still veering ever more rightwards, and a desperate need for a left alternative that is seen as the genuine article. Polanski has correctly identified this moment as critical, and in his leadership pitch is emphasising the need for the Green Party to step into that space vacated on the left by every other main party. Polanski advocates for transforming the Greens into a radical mass membership movement, rooted in what he is calling eco-populism. This is an approach that combines evidence-based environmental policies, as the Greens have always stood for, with a compelling narrative that cuts through and resonates with a broader audience that speaks to them on the issues that matter to them, to go toe-to-toe with Farage on his populist turf. Polanski's argument, I think, is the right one, in that the party must be more visible and more bold, moving beyond the incremental growth as the party keeps making great gains, sure, but to become a much more significant political force more quickly, as is needed right now. And the way you get that, as a Green, is by being too big to ignore. They're too big for the media to ignore anymore. His campaign seeks to emphasise confronting social inequalities, combating fascism, and addressing climate change with urgency. The Green Party has faced a lot of criticisms for being too liberal, perhaps, too quiet, or failing to make a significant impact despite its long-standing presence. The Greens have been around since 1990, and whilst they have made progress, it's been glacial compared to yet another Farage vehicle in Reform UK. Polanski acknowledges this. He freely states it, and has made clear it's way past time it got addressed, proposing a shift towards more assertive leadership and clearer communication. And by embracing a more confrontational media style and focusing on grassroots organising, he aims to revitalise the party's image and increase its effectiveness. The Green Party have already started moving in this direction. There was always a home for disaffected socialists in the Green Party amongst the Green Socialist group, and now with the recent launch of a far more in-your-face green movement of activists called Greens Organise, it's the perfect time to get involved and get behind Polanski's campaign, the Back Zack campaign as it's being called. It wrote itself, frankly, didn't it? Polanski's leadership bid offers an opportunity to embrace the work of these more activist-led, more socialist-led groups under a common vision for the party's future, and to get the attention the party's status on British politics warrants it gets. Polanski's campaign utilises modern digital platforms to reach potential supporters as well. He's got his campaign website, backzack.com. Go visit that. It outlines his platform and invites engagement from party members and the public alike, as well as offering a chance to join and have a say in getting this guy elected. Zack Polanski's entry into the Green Party's leadership race injects some new energy and direction at a time when UK political left seeks revitalisation. It needs it. His vision of eco-populism, commitment to social justice, and emphasis on bold, inclusive leadership presents a compelling case for the party's future. For the left, this is the best chance we've had in years now to take the fight back to the Blairite right of Starmer's Labour and the road to fascism their failure is putting this country on. If anyone could take on Farage and his narratives and his media presence and do it to his face, Zack Polanski can. He will scare the living daylights out of Starmer and Farage both, and will make sure the media can no longer keep on ignoring the Green Party, because he's not the kind of guy who frankly likes to be ignored. This is a proper seize-the-moment point for the Green Party in order to redefine its identity, build its presence as a movement of the left, position itself as the leading progressive force in British politics today at a time when we sorely need one. I will very much be backing Zack. I'll also be very much expecting some rather familiar media attacks to begin to try and bring him down, because he is the next big establishment threat if he gets in, and it might already be starting. Don't fall for it again. Join the Greens. Get behind this guy. Some significant figures have done so already. Labour councillors. Defections happening ahead of the recent local elections. One such example featured in this video recommendation here as your suggested next watch. So if even Starmer's elected figures are jumping ship to the Greens, what's your excuse not to then? Please do also hit like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already, so as to ensure you don't miss out on all new daily content, as well as supporting the channel at the very same time, which is very much appreciated. Holding power to account for ordinary working class people. I'll hopefully catch you on the next vid. Cheers folks.